Right, okay, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today it's a bit of a transfer update, some news coming in. Thought we'll go through it, have a look, see what's happening. So we'll start off with the worst news first. Thiago Silva is going to be out for 6 weeks. Obviously he went off injured against Tottenham on the weekend. It's been confirmed that is knee ligament damage and he's expected to be out for around 6 weeks. He'll definitely be out for the foreseeable future. Obviously dreadful news. Just more injuries. I mean, a lot of Liverpool fans are using the excuse that they played as many games as possible last season. I want to point out the point that we played the same amount of games as them last season. Because if you think they played 3 more games as the Champions League, but we made up for those 3 games in the World Cup and the Super Cup. Obviously, they might not play at the same intensity as the Champions League, but still the same amount of games. Our players are also going to be very overdone. And you have to remember, we've already had a long list of injuries this year. And this is probably the worst, up along with James and Chilwell. This is dreadful for us. I mean, he's going to be out until April. I mean, that misses a lot of important games. Obviously, the Dortmund game next week, massive game he's going to miss. A lot of fans gave Potter a lot of stick after he gave players days off after the Southampton game. And a lot of people compared it to Ten Hag making his players come in the next day after the Brentford game early on the season. What I think is stupid, because at the start of the season, you're playing 1 game a week. And obviously, that was the second game of the season. But comparing that to halfway through the season, when you've already got loads of players injured, lots of players are playing twice a week. I mean, he had to give them the extra day off because injury was such a risk, and this is proof of it, because look, 19 minutes into the Tottenham game, and Thiago Silva's gone off injured, and now he's out for 6 weeks. And Thiago Silva even got rested against Southampton. Hopefully, the injury just starts to go down now instead of growing. It has started to go down a bit over the last few weeks. Obviously, James, Chilwell, Sterling all coming back. Kovacic is basically back now. Kante's back in training, so hopefully this continues to go down. And obviously I mentioned Kante, he's going to sign a new 3-year contract. Obviously this is a thing that's going on for a while now, because there's been links to PSG and Barcelona, but it's said he will sign a 3-year contract extension, and apparently there could be an option to extend on top of that as well. I think it's very interesting. I mean, it's good news. Obviously, trying to bring quite a few midfielders. They're trying to revamp that midfield. Kante's obviously an unbelievable player, and it would be good to see him sign another contract. And hopefully, this means he will be at full fitness, and don't see risk of more long-term injuries like he's had this season. Speaking of a midfielder, Kovacic, and while Kante looks to be staying, Kovacic could be leaving. Obviously, Man City are interested in him. Man City have tried to sign him before we signed him. Pep is rumoured to be a big admirer of Mateo Kovacic. I really hope this doesn't happen. I'm a massive fan of Kovacic. I think he's a really, really good player. I think he's been the most underrated for the last 3 years. Obviously, his first season under Sarri wasn't great at all. But since then, I think he's been unbelievable. And I think since then, he probably has been our best midfielder, because he's just been consistent throughout those 3 years. While, look at Kante and Jorginho, they've been inconsistent. Obviously, Julian's not even with us anymore, and Kante's had injuries. So I would say last 3 years he has been our best midfielder, and he is really impressive. I feel bad for him because he's never really got the credit he deserves amongst anybody. He's a player I rate really highly, and I really hope he doesn't go, but I've got a bad feeling he will go. What is a real shame. Obviously, his contract runs out 2024. It's really a last chance to sell him for money in the summer. Obviously, you have the January chance window as well. If he's not going to sign a new contract, well, there hasn't really been any talks about, so it doesn't look like he will. We may as well get the money for him. We'll see. His market value is around 30 to 40 maybe. I'm not feeling good about this one. I feel like Kovacic will go to Man City, but it's a real shame. And while Man City tried to sign Kovacic, we could be looking to nick a player from Man City, Julian Alverez. Now this is one I'm very, very interested in. So I'm a big fan of Julian Alverez, and I think this could be a really good move for us if we do go for him. So obviously he's in talks with City. He's not really happy with the position he's at City. Obviously being a backup to Erling Haaland. So he's in talks with City. There's a deadline of a month until City decide what they're going to do with Alvarez. That could be, that could be big. Obviously, Alvarez wants more game time. We don't have a proper striker. We're looking to bring in a proper striker in the summer. Alvarez already has a link up with Enzo Fernandez from River Plate in Argentina. He's a really good, well-rounded player. Obviously, already has a bit of Premier League experience from this year. When you compare it to like an Osman or Sesko, they haven't. I don't think his price will be too much. I've seen rumours if he wants to loan away, but if we were to sign him, I'll expect it'll be a full-time. But that is an option I'm really interested in, and one I might prefer to like an Osman. Can you look at Osman? Obviously, he's not Premier League proven, and chances like that haven't really worked for us in the past. However, while Alverez could be also seen as a risk, he's had experience in the Premier League, very young like Osman, and as they got that link up with Enzo Fernandez, a Diego Costa ex Fabregas like link up would be fantastic. So yeah, that's for today. Just a few stories. I thought I'd go through them. Bit of transfer stuff, obviously the annoying Silva injury update. But yeah, until then, see ya.